Hey guys, welcome to my new video. Today we are going to do an analysis against Australia versus New Zealand. I think New Zealand might have a good chance of winning because if New Zealand win, then this might be a good chance to win the World Cup for the first time. Australia has a pretty damn good lineup because they have Pat Cummins. They have all sort type of bowlers that gives a restriction to the batsman. You know, the biggest battle arm ones is Pat Cummins versus Colin Munro. Reason why? Because Colin Munro is a brute type shot of batsman, and not just that, he's a nice lofter shotter. And also, what I gotta say, Pat Cummins is a cross-seamer delivery guy, and he's a fast medium pace bowler. So what I'm thinking is those two platinum players will go battle against the two batsmen. Pat Cummins will be against Colin Munro and Guptill, and I think Guptill might do something because he's a radical with 85 timing, which is really good for the New Zealanders because the 85 timing is really good for a radical player. And what I'm thinking is if New Zealand messes up their bowling, then that will be an easily 200 for the Kangaroos. And I gotta say that, you know, New Zealand is a hella fighting team because normally, I gotta say, look, I have to say this, but like New Zealand is sometimes a bit of a untracked team because normally the team doesn't do that much well on sometimes communications, but it depends on their communication strategy. But first, what I'm thinking is the weather and the pitch. The pitch must be green, so the fast bowlers can get a lot of swing. If they get a lot of swing, then the Yorkers will be reverse swinged. And what I'm thinking is if they bowl, for example, also on the dry pitch, then dry pitch will extract spin. So that's why I think spinners should keep going on the lineup. Next thing, also, if I were choosing a team which will win, my thinking is Australia. They have strong lineups, you know, and a strong captain, Aaron Finch. And I think Justin Langer might be happy if they won. But let's see, it depends. Maybe it might change for them. But let's think. Australia have won 6 ODI matches, right? And they have played T20 a lot, but haven't gone into the final. Maybe it could be the first time. Well, maybe not. Maybe my Lancet could be wrong, and I might get fired for it. And I'm thinking about it's New Zealand's first time against Australia in the final. A final is always a pressure match. So what I'm thinking is Australia could win because Australia keep winning lots of ODIs. The ODIs give them a big advantage, but what I'm thinking is even New Zealand might get an advantage because ODIs are mostly a test match. Well, it's not a test match, but you get what I mean though, right? So if I were thinking that if Australia kept batting faster, if they use a team that will go fast and fast and fast, then that will be a good thing. Then they could score 200. They should keep the sluggers at number 5 and 6. So if they keep the sluggers at number 5 and 6 or 4, then that would be good. Because if they don't, then that will be a problem if we don't have sluggers. Matthew Wade, he's a great player. He's a great balance player. He is a great balance player because we can see how good he played against Pakistan. Shaheen Afridi, he was bowling. He wasn't bowl well because he hasn't used his pace sensibly, said by Shahid Afridi. Shahid Afridi told on the TV and said, Shaheen Afridi should bowl a better pace and tense because if they bowl a better pace and tense, then but there he hasn't used his pace sensibly. So what I'm thinking is if Shaheen Afridi can bowl his pace sensibly, he could have won the match. But sadly, he did not win the match because he did not bowl sensibly. He could have bowled sensibly if he can stop bowling Yorkers and focus on the field. Afridi said, it's fine if the Hassan Ali did not catch it. That would not be the end of the match, but at least Pakistan tried. But I think Pakistan would have a good chance. But I think, on my opinion, Shaheen Afridi should use his pace sensibly. Not by using like straight Yorker straight, because Yorkers can lead either to a full length, not a full toss, a full length. So a full length means like just full. You just where good is, but just full. It just and also if I'm right, if Australia win, then this would maybe the second or third time they have won. But Australia might have a disadvantage on their ODIs, because in ODIs you play slow and slow and slow and slow and slow and slow until you go to 300. And Australia has a very good slugging team. So what I'm thinking is, if Australia win this, then we will be astonished by this. If New Zealand win, then that would be that would be more surprising thing ever. Because New Zealand have faced Australia, I think, many times or sometimes. I think they have lost a lot of times, but only if Daryl Mitchell can put a very good slugging experience, same like they did in England, then Kiwis will win this match. Let's see who's going to become meat, who's going to become fruit, and let's see who is going to be chopped up into pieces and be eaten for dinner. Let's see, because I'm thinking is Australia would win because of a strong lineup, and while on the other hand, New Zealand have a very weak lineup sometimes. Sometimes their lineups can be weak, but if they add Daryl Mitchell, then that would be a bit of a strong lineup they add. I think it depends. If Australia added a weak team to their lineup, then we are doomed. So, Allah Hafiz, this is the end of the analysis.